Hello, this is a sort of summary recap of a hangout we just had on Codebuddies.org. I'll briefly describe Codebuddies and the project we're working on and summarize what happened during this hangout. Build a website in Python using Django and Wagtail CMS. Codebuddies is an online community where a lot of people get together and share tips and tricks for how to code. We share a learning journey. It's a nonprofit, open collective. The website's open source and community oriented. There's Slack and GitHub channels if you want to get involved. Essentially, the community schedule hangouts where we'll either teach or co-create on projects, and people can join in live chat. Those hangouts usually are under the umbrella of one or more of these groups, and there's a lot of different groups: Python, Elixir, Go, Java, Rust, CSS, GitHub, computer science, Android, JavaScript, Ruby, PHP, AWS, all sorts of good stuff. So there's a lot of active people here, and even how to get a job interview practice. A lot of ways to connect in ongoing discussions. For the past few weeks, we've been working on a revitalization, so to speak, the next generation of a magazine website for Western Friend magazine, which has been publishing since, I think, when was the original? The last one was, yeah, online. It's been published as a PDF since 2013, and the origin was Friends Bulletin, and the oldest edition of that in the archives is from 1929. And basically, we've been building out this magazine index page and content types to support it. So a magazine consists of publishing dates, title, cover photo, and magazine articles that are divided into sections. And we chose Wagtail as the development framework for the next generation of Western Friend website. It's got a lot of benefits. It's focused. It's a content management system with usability focus, so it makes it easy for content editors and managers to do their work. It's already got wide adoption. It's got some really nice features, and that we'll be diving into throughout this series. And underneath that, we have the Django project, which gives us a development framework for web, kind of end-to-end applications. We're not doing a lot of JavaScript at this point, which in my opinion is kind of nice. It's a little bit of a refreshing break to be able to do as much as possible with Python and some simple templating languages. So with that said, let's just take a look at the changes we made this week. So here's our functioning Wagtail site. I've been doing some internationalization work. I'll just close those out. The front end of the website, we're not applying any CSS, so it's not going to be very elegant looking. But the back end comes with the default Wagtail. And this week what we focused on was on a magazine issue. So let's look at, there are these publication dates. We've come quite a ways so far and got most of this magazine index issue page built out. But if I go to one of the magazine issues in the front end, and I say view live, I think we'll see that we've got it showing Heal the World, Inward Light, Letters, and Quaker Culture. Those are the sections that the magazine articles come under, and the magazine cover photo would be shown here in the magazine title. And actually, while streaming here, I'll just go ahead and make one modification to this that I notice is lacking. If I return to the magazine index, we also have these magazine issues listed out in a date field. I'll describe the code here that powers this date field, and I'll go ahead and I'll add it here because we forgot that during our live stream. So cool. This recap will actually have something useful. So basically, everything in Wagtail, more or less, is a page. It's this content type that allows you to build content hierarchies. So we have that magazine index page that lists out all the magazine articles and has some editable text that I can view in a rich, let's see if I edit this page, it shows me a rich text editor for those two fields. And I can, it's got a drafting process, and I'll view it live. I think that'll open in a new tab. So then I just took those exclamations away. So that's this, and it only has an intro text. That's what gives us this extra field. It comes with the title for free by virtue of inheriting from page. Then we have the magazine issue, which also has a title and a cover image. Today we added, with my friend Sebastian, a publication date field, which inherits from Django model fields. Standard date. We allowed it to be nullable because I didn't really want to figure out how to backfill or how to auto populate the values. And we added a help text. So when I look at that, if I edit this page, it's just the On Children magazine issue. Doesn't have any of those articles because these are child pages. We can look in the template code to see how that works. But now we have this publication date field, which displays the help text above it and gives us a nice calendar widget for free. There's a bug report on Wagtail about this sort of overlapping, what would you call this, an admin bar or something. So hopefully that'll be fixed sometime, maybe by me even, I'm not sure what that would entail. But in any case, that's our new field, publication date field. Now, if you notice on the magazine, we're using this as our reference. The actual live website's built with Drupal, by the way. We've been developing this for about 4 years, so incrementally changing a lot of little details. It's serving as a really great reference because it's kind of the vision where we've been working towards, so we don't have to reinvent everything. So a magazine, they're not published every month. These Western Friend magazines are published kind of bi-monthly, and if you go back a little bit further, it's a lot more variable. Like in the deep archives, sometimes they're published every 3 or 6 months. There's no formula for those, but at least since 2013 it's been every 2 months. So with the help of Sebastian in Stack Overflow, and I actually should have mentioned in Stack, I gave the upvote. We kind of came to a compromise and found a solution to add a computed field or property onto this model magazine issue called publication end date, and it just checks if that publication end date has been added because it's nullable, so we wanted to make sure that it does exist, and returns the publication end date plus 31 days. This is the kind of not the most elegant part. We wanted to add 1 month, and there's probably even a solution to do this. It's from multiple ways of solving this problem of having essentially a list of months here, but in any case, what that allows us to do is it gives us a month, a date 31 days later that we can use in the template, because this magazine issue instance is going to get passed into the template. So let's take a look at that. The magazine issue page essentially shows the page title of the magazine issue. Well, I'll leave it up. I'll leave it open. So let me view it again. Preview that. So it's going to show the page title. Magazine index page. That's over here. Sorry. And this, so it shows page title and this introductory text. And it passes it in to these template filters, a rich text filter. Then it iterates over all the issues, which are, as I mentioned earlier, child pages. It's a hierarchical content model. I think it's powered by Django Treebeard. I don't know much more about it, but it's pretty nice way to organize your content. Shows each of the titles as a clickable link, cover image with some nice rescaling done in the template language. And we check if the publication date was added, and it essentially, if it's there, then we know this sort of computed field or the property, model property will exist. And we passed it into a date formatter, so we're only going to show the month and year, and that's the kind of output we were looking for. So that's what we basically settled on to replicate this feature here. And again, we're going to go through styling and make it look much nicer later. But we're just trying to build out the basic functionality. And you notice that on bosses and on expansion, they don't have the cover image or the date fields because that content wasn't actually added to them. So that said, let's take this knowledge and apply it one more time, and then I can wrap up this little summary recap because the live stream failed for some reason. We'll look at a magazine issue page. So I don't need two instances of that open, but a magazine. Did I say issue? Yes, because the issues have the dates. So we need to come back up to the magazine level and view one of the issue pages, which I think was just there. Maybe not. So I think we'll just add it maybe right below the cover image. So this has got quite a lot going on. If you want to see how this was constructed, you can check out the parts 1 and 2 of our live stream series. But maybe in the future I'll try to summarize those as well because they're like 1 hour, 45 minutes. Basically we're showing the title, the cover image, so we're going to dig in right here in a minute. And then we created this function that I'm not going to dig into, but it groups these articles into departments. And again, watch the prior live streams for that, because that was a pretty interesting technique we used there to get them all out using grouping, this regroup function, and essentially showing each of them underneath their groups. There's some nuances to that. So underneath here we should have page title here. We can show those publication dates. Since we're actually in the individual page, I don't think I need that. I might not need that specific sub-argument. What was our model field called publication date? Let's just see if this works. There it goes. Yeah, and then we can just pass it. Again, I think we're essentially going to be able to take, and I closed it a second ago, this code and copy and paste it. We pass it to, I'll type it in just for the heck of it so that I can remember it. We pass it into a date formatter. So anytime you run this pipe, it's going to pass it to like a template filter, and there's several of those, a lot of built-in Django template filters. I was really impressed. The Django framework is really blowing my mind how mature it is, and batteries included. Here's the regroup. But let's see if there's a date. Yeah, to date format your date objects in the template actually. So the tricky bit is a little gotcha, is that between the date colon and the format string, you don't put a space. Put a space after, but anyway. You got to have it right here, so that's kind of weird, but that's how it works. FO, and then so I just looked up the that I wanted to show the month long format here, so that's F textual long, and then I wanted to show the year 4 digits. No. Yeah, actually that's true. 4 digits. Then what did I do? Oh, let me see what the benefit of the Y is. ISO week. Numbering year corresponding week number. She uses leap weeks. Oh, that is not what I wanted to do. So, good. Found a potential bug in the code, and let's fix that here as well. Very cool. But yeah, my experience with developing Wagtail and Django, it's been just kind of joyous. It's pretty exciting, the capabilities and the documentation and the cleanliness of the code. You know, it's not without some gotchas, like by way of example, we had to do this kind of sort of well, it's not really a kludge, but it's not the most elegant thing, using the time delta with days, because it doesn't have a months argument. For whatever reason, time delta only allows days, seconds, microseconds, milliseconds, minutes, hours, weeks. When what we wanted to do was just add 1 month. I know these times and time zones are very tricky and problematic, so I don't want to seem like I'm complaining too much. In any case, since we're basically rounding them to the month level, or sort of truncating it in the template here, when I refresh, did I save that? September 2018. It doesn't matter that we're actually going deeper into October. There is some potential bugs that will roll out of this. If, for example, the publication date is not on the first day of the month, so we added a help text to kind of mitigate that, and I'll talk to Mary about that. And there may be another solution that rolls out of this. In any case, let's go ahead and finish this up and wrap up this live stream. Since these are two publication end date. Well, I just want to do it like that. September, October 2018. So that said, let's commit these changes. And I'll break them out a little bit. Add publication dates. Publication start and end dates. That's clean commit. And fix publication. Push those changes. Cool. Well, that's it in a nutshell. We've now got the publication starting and date. It took us about an hour to work that out, but that's kind of the fun of coding, is just the exploration process. And it's really nice to do that on Codebuddies because there's other people who will hang out with you. Sebastian is super helpful, suggesting, pointing out typos and stuff like that, low-level details, but also suggesting alternatives to these solutions. This was not a trivial thing as much as it seems, just adding a date to the model. It's because it's not quite just a date. These are two related dates, and they're not even full granularity dates. So yeah, tricky stuff. Nice to have friends hang out with you. In any case, thanks for checking out this video. If you want to get involved, please stop by the Codebuddies, and we'll hopefully see you in one of our hangouts. Okay, well, have a great day.